You know those conversations where two people are trying to insist that their favorite food, team, restaurant, whatever is better? Have you noticed how the second person almost never acknowledges anything that the first person says? Why is that? Welcome back to Beyond 40 and Just Getting Started, the place where we dive into the journey of growth and abundance after 40. Recently, as I was reading, an author started talking about celebrities and CEOs of large corporations. My reaction was one of disgust. I shut the book and had the story running through my mind. Why is this author idolizing these billionaires? They aren't any better than I am anyway. As I sat there for a moment thinking, it dawned on me that in terms of success and achievement, the scoreboard actually says something very different. Continuing down this thought of self-reflection, I started realizing how the financial circumstances I'm in today are not because this is where I desire to be, but instead I am where I am because this is the best that I've managed to attain up to this point. Truth be told, if I had my way, I'd be further along in my financial journey today than I am. For example, I had hoped to take a trip to Germany this year around Christmas time, but that's a desire I've had to forego because of financial constraints. So in this moment of honesty with myself, I had to acknowledge that I want more than I have today. My response to the words I was reading in that book were strictly driven off of ego. Ego is that quiet reflex that shows up anytime that someone's success makes us uncomfortable. It encourages us to dismiss instead of learn from what we're hearing. That was exactly my response in that moment. Instead of wanting to learn from these people who clearly have achieved more than I have, I immediately wanted to dismiss them because it made me uncomfortable by shining the light on the fact that in spite of my best effort, I haven't achieved more than I already have. That was an uncomfortable realization. On our journey, as we progress out of the employee swimming pool toward the prosperity pool, there's really two ways that we can learn to be a better swimmer in the prosperity pool. We can try to dive in and learn for ourselves. Our strokes that we take as we swim will be ugly, our breathing will be inconsistent, and it'll be clear that we are amateurs in the prosperity pool. On the other hand, another approach we can take is by observing others who have been in the pool longer than we have. We're blessed to live in a time with abundant information and access to a lot of the playbooks that very successful people use. Everything from YouTube University to our public library can be a wealth of information about individuals that we admire who've done things that we would like to achieve ourselves, as long as we're humble enough to learn from their techniques and learn from their systems and tools. That ego response that we default to is defensive. It wants to protect our self-image. It wants us to be able to naively continue forward, feeling good about the person that we are. But for those of us who are serious about just getting started with our lives, it's important to remember that our scoreboard today doesn't dictate what our scoreboard will be next week, next year. We need to remember that because that brings us back to the humility stage where as we recognize that we can grow and we can increase the level of achievement that we've accomplished, that allows us to learn. That allows us to observe others who are further down the path than we are and take some hints and suggestions from how they're doing things. I know that I still have a long way to go to become the person I want to be. Think of one person that you've quietly dismissed up to this point in your life. Allow yourself to really take a look at what they do differently, and then pick one of those things that you identify and implement it in your life this week. Don't let ego hold you back from the success that you want. Thanks for joining.